In this video guys, I want to tell you about just the most incredible soldier that I've ever read about. Now I researched some war stories just because I had a feeling for this kind of episode, video, series thing. And I come across a guy called Thomas Baker. Now Thomas was nothing special to begin with, he was just a private in the Battle of Saipan during World War II, but his actions within that war that granted him the Medal of Honor is just crazy. The guy's like Rambo or something, he just refuses to die and just keeps on killing no matter how many he faces. So anyway guys, I really hope you enjoy this. It took me a while to go, I got loads of different sources and I double, triple checked just to make sure the information that I was given was right. So I hope you enjoy. So July 1944, Battle of Saipan. Thomas Baker runs ahead of his men to within 100 yards of the enemy pillbox. Armed with only a bazooka and receiving enemy fire, he fires a rocket inside, killing all the enemy soldiers. A few days later, Baker spots 12 Japanese soldiers manning a machine gun, and from behind his own lines he kills all 12 soldiers before running to a rearguard position to cover his men for any surprise attacks. By doing this, he uncovers two heavily fortified enemy pockets which had been bypassed. These pockets were manned by 2 officers and 10 infantrymen. Undiscouraged by being outmanned 12 to 1, he picked off all 12 men. A further 500 yards down the battlefield, he uncovers a small band of enemy soldiers waiting in ambush for the next group of passing American soldiers. Without a thought, he shoots all 6 dead. 3 weeks later, the Japanese have staged a last-ditch banzai attack. Between 3 to 5,000 drunken, enraged enemy soldiers had Baker pinned down within his perimeters on 3 sides. Yet again, undiscouraged by the sheer volume of enemy that he faced, Baker dug down into a foxhole and started shooting waves of advancing soldiers until he had exhausted all of his ammo. By this time, Baker had been shot in the abdomen and his rifle was ruined for being used as a baseball bat against a dozen enemy soldiers. A Marine came to the rescue of Baker, carrying him out of the line of Japanese fire, but only to be shot 50 yards away from where Baker had made his foxhole. Baker, who by this time had killed more than 30 enemy soldiers, including those who were inside the pillbox and the men in the waves of those advancing banzai attacks, added yet another kill to his tally by seizing the rifle of the dead rescuer and shooting the Japanese soldier. Another Marine came to the rescue of a now badly wounded Thomas Baker, but was met by Baker screaming, "Get away from me, I've caused enough problems, give me your .45. At his request, the Marine gave Baker his pistol and propped him up against a tree before fleeing to cover. When they found him the next morning, he lay dead against a tree in a pool of his own blood, his pistol empty, and 8 dead Japanese soldiers around him. Baker was later promoted to sergeant, and on May 9th, 1945 he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions throughout the Battle of Saipan. He was buried at Gerald B.H. Solomon Sarasota National Cemetery in New York. And that's the story of Sergeant Thomas A. Baker. This guy was just a complete badass. It didn't matter what he'd done, like whether he was shooting bazookas into pillboxes, taking out a band of 12 men manning a machine gun, or 6 men waiting to ambush somebody. It just doesn't matter what people were throwing at him. I mean, he was laying half dead against a tree with just a pistol magazine, and he killed 8 Japanese soldiers. This guy is just awe-inspiring. I absolutely loved researching about him, finding out more about him, and just piecing all this together to bring to you as a video. If you enjoyed this episode guys, please leave a like, or just even suggest somebody that you want me to do a video about in the comment section. I'll get round to it. I plan on bringing you so much more of these, and I hope you enjoyed the gameplay in the background. I'll see you in the next one.